Hello and welcome to GT Sports Mates. If this is your first time here, welcome, and if it's not your first time here, then welcome back. Now you join me today as we are going to be doing the daily races. We've already done race A, so that's right, we're going to do race B, and race B is Maggiore GP, and it is an absolutely fantastic track, very, very good track. Now it's an open choice. As long as it's a GR4 car, you can choose any car you wish. That's really good because it gives you a good choice, but then you've got to figure out which car you want. We're not sure, and we're just going to go with something a bit different, something we haven't used a lot, and it is going to be the McLaren. Now, we're not going to check the top times set on the track, and we're not going to check what cars that we're in. This is a complete gamble. We're jumping straight in with the McLaren 650S, and it's a very good GR4 car, so we're hoping to do well here. Now, as you can see, we're starting in P3, and as you notice there, no qualifying times are showing up. Not quite sure what happened there, I'll be honest. I don't know if there was a glitch on the game, but everybody's qualifying time just didn't want to appear. So I'm not sure how good we were compared to the rest of the pack. But we're in P3, so we must have done something well. So here we go then. We've got 4 laps to go, and we're going to start with a rolling start, which... Are rolling starts as good as grid starts? I'm not sure. I mean, grid starts are a lot more hectic, obviously, but there's a bit of skill involved there. You've got to get off the line as best you can. Rolling starts, not so much. You're already rolling, so I don't know. I think I prefer a grid start. Anyway, let's talk about this race. So it's 4 laps at Maggiore. As we said, we're in the McLaren 650S. We have no idea how we're going to fare compared to these other cars, and there is actually a decent variety of cars. It's not like everyone has checked what car's best. There's a good variety, although I did notice at the beginning there was quite a few Audi TTs. Maybe that could be something. We're going to find out anyway as we're coming down now to the bottom of the hill, and it's a long right-hander, and I completely mess up, and I take a cone with me there. I don't know why. I mean, stupid place to put a cone at the end of my car, if you ask me. But anyway, we're going to go up now and through the tricky S-bends. Now, McLaren here, at first, I'll admit, when I was doing the qualifying time, I struggled a little bit there with the McLaren. But then I found, and I'm going to take another cone just for good measure. Why not? They keep putting them at the end of my car. It's a very strange place. But I was going to say, through the S-bend, the McLaren felt planted but not very quick, and as you can see there, the guy who was in 4th in an Audi TT caught up very quickly through the S-bend. Now I'm going to get the inside line on him here. I'm really flirting with the limits of the track there, but it's all okay though. You don't get a penalty. You can really hug that apex as much as you can. But the guy here in the Audi TT is going to give it a little bit of a nudge. Nothing too bad though, no penalty given. That was fine. It wasn't too bad. But what we don't want to do is lose the slipstream. Now, slipstream is extremely important in this game. It can make or break your game, really. But the downside to slipstream, especially on some tracks like this where it's very tricky S-bends and they're very fast, a lot of dirty air, and that just will absolutely destroy your aerodynamics and everything else, and it can actually do more harm than good. So you've got to stay in the slipstream, but you don't want to be too close, because that could actually make it worse for you. And as you can see, again, behind in 5th, another Audi TT. So I'm surrounded by Audi TTs. I'm seeing a little bit of a pattern already here as we're coming on to the, well, we've already started the second lap, but we're going to go around the first few corners. But look, you can see here the speed of the McLaren through these first few corners, so much quicker than the Audi. Now, my job here, what I tried there, and I think I pulled it off really well, I put my nose on the left-hand side of the Audi just to make him think I was going to go for a mood, and then I backed out. And because he was thinking of where I was, he wasn't paying attention and he went off track, and that's given me that position back. So I think I did a good job there. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to put him off a little bit, make him think I was going to go for a massive dive bomb, and then I was going to back out, and that's exactly what I did, and it seemed to pay off. So I was quite happy with that. Anyway, coming up now through the S-bends one more time, or coming up to them now. Still learning a little bit about this car on this track. Again, doesn't seem all that good through these sections, and you can see there the Audi just seems so much quicker. Look at the speed he's carrying through there. So that Audi absolutely planted through there, and that's going to be a very interesting part to this race, because I've got a decent straight line speed, as you can see here, but the Audi's got better cornering, I'm going to say. But I do know one thing about this car. You can brake very late. Now, as you can see, I broke later and I let him come on the inside. I wanted to go out wider because that would give me the inside line for this corner right here. And I was thinking ahead though. I was trying to think ahead, maybe 1 or 2 corners just to see where I needed to be to make sure I was going to hold him off in the Audi in 4th and the Audi in 5th actually. Like I said, both of these Audis that were fighting here, they seem very, very good. They seem like they're going to be very good through these tricky S-bends and whatnot. So we're going to have to really be careful how we attack this track. Just going onto the grass there a little bit, not ideal. You don't want to be getting dirty tyres. As you can see, that I'm almost going onto the grass again there because of the dirty tyres, and that's lost me so much time. You look at the Audi now flying down the inside. I can't do anything about it. I'm going to have to give that position to him so much quicker, and I don't want to lose up to another position behind. So I'm going to almost outbrake myself there. I almost outbrake myself, almost hit the Audi, and the guy behind me almost hitting me. It was a bit of a manic state there, but as you can see again, the McLaren coming into its own through the first couple of corners so much quicker than the Audi. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go around the outside here, and then I'm just going to back it off a little bit, give him that position, then I'm going to go down the inside. I knew he wasn't going to be able to turn in quick enough there because he was on the left hand side. He'd outbraked himself, so that's what gave me the chance to go back down the inside and take that position back. So far this race has been good. I've enjoyed this race so far. Here we go though, the Audi really aggressively going down for that dive bomb, and I've got to give it to him. He saw a gap there and he went for it. You're not a racing driver if you don't see a gap and go for it. So well done to him. But he's going to attack again on the left. I'm going to come across. I didn't give him all that much room there, I'll admit. That was maybe a bit too shy on the room. I should have given him a little bit more room. But, you know, going through the side-by-side, tricky anyway. And what that's going to do, that, as you can see, between me and the silver Audi battling it out, we've given the other Audi, who was in 5th, we've just handed him 2 places. That's what we did there. He bided his time very well. He watched us battle through the S's and he just thought, well, I'll take them positions off you. And he has done. So I've got to give it to him. He hung in there and he did a really good job. Coming around the really, probably the best corner on the track, the one we've just gone round. You can hug that corner so much it almost catapults you out. And what we're going to do though is get the best exit to get down here behind this Audi. Because as I said on the first lap, we don't want to lose the slipstream. But we also don't want to be getting too close because it will destroy the aerodynamics of the car. Getting a bit sideways there, not good. Back tyre just about touching the grass. I managed to hold the slide, but that's going to bring in the Audi who is in 5th right behind me. That's going to bring him back into place. You can see him there coming down the outside. And I'm going to brake us out of the can here, but I don't think I'm going to get as good an exit as I want because obviously the racing line isn't perfect there, and that's going to, again, bring that Audi back into play. He's got the outside line there. It's not where he wants to be, but it will mean that coming through the next corner, he will have the inside line. So I've got to give it him back there because I don't want to be battling through this section. As I know I am faster through here, I'm going to try and use that to my advantage as I come around. And again, we're going to go side by side once again with the same guy, round the same corner. How will this happen this time? And he just doesn't. I don't know what he was thinking, that he went straight across the front end. I don't know if he was trying to hit us. I'd like to think he wasn't, but I don't know. He seemed to just all of a sudden come across the track. If he was turning left, which is the way the track was going, I don't think that would have happened. But anyway, we're going to go down the inside, looking for that manoeuvre like he did on us the last lap, and we're going to get that manoeuvre sorted, and that's a great little manoeuvre there, I think, to get that position back. So far, though, the Audi, who is in 5th, giving us a very good battle here now. Flirting again with the lines of the track here, as you can see. So close to getting a penalty, and yet not quite getting one. So you can brave it a little bit through these corners, but you don't want to go too far because again you don't want to get a penalty. The Audi there, as you can see, going right across the line, right across the corner, I should say, not getting a penalty, but that's going to give him a really good run down here. What are we going to do down here? Now he's got obviously more speed coming down here because he got a better exit, but as he got the brakes, I don't think he's going to do it. He's going to outbrake himself, and I'm going to go right back in and undercut him and get that 4th position back. He was almost there. He just went too fast into the corner. He outbroke himself a little bit, and that handed me back that corner. But here we go. We're going into the last sector now on the final lap. We are in 4th, so we've dropped a position. That's not ideal, but let's see if we can do any better as we go completely out of it ourselves, braking it ourselves, and we're getting a half-second penalty for ignoring track limits. It's about time, I think. I think you'd all agree there. I got away with quite a few things there. But what I don't understand is, watch this now, the Audi coming down the inside. He didn't need to do that. He didn't need to do that. And he's going to get himself a 2-second penalty for doing it. He has just lost his 4th position. If all he had to do was sit behind me, and he would have come in 4th. That's exactly what he would have done, because I had a half-second penalty. He just had to sit there, but he was too impatient. He went for the manoeuvre, he went for the dive bomb. There wasn't enough room. He pushes me wide, and he gets a 2-second penalty. It's a very, very silly mistake. And here we go. We're going to have a quick look at it. You can see that I've got a half-second penalty. He just has to be patient. He's got 4th. He's in 5th, but he will get 4th as we cross the line, and he just doesn't want to wait. Look at that. Pushes me out the way a little bit, goes over and gets himself a 2-second penalty. And because of that, he has now gone from what should have been a 4th place, and he drops down, as you'll see, to 6th place. A lesson I think we can all learn. If you're behind somebody on the last corner and they have a penalty and you don't, I know we want to beat them on the track, we don't want to beat them afterwards, but in this case, just leave it. Let the penalty system sort it out, and you'll get that position. There's no need to try and risk it and then losing positions yourself anyway. So here we go. We're going to go again as we go across with our qualifying time as a 2:07.3. Now that was a better qualifying time than the first lap track, but we're actually going to start all the way down in 10th. Now, I was a bit confused with that. I did a better qualifying, but ended up going 7 positions worse for the start. But obviously, all that means is the 7 people ahead of me, they did better qualifying times than me. So it's looking like we're going to be in for a hard race for the second race. But as you saw there, lots of Audi TTs in this race. Now, I'm beginning to see a very big pattern here. And I think looking at the first race, how good that Audi TT was around here, I'm going to assume that's the car you want to be in for this track. But we're not going to do that. No. We're going to stick with the McLaren 650S. And we're going to see, from starting all the way down in 10th, what we can do for the next 4 laps. Can we get any better than 5th, which is where we finished on the last race. Now, the last race we started in 3rd. So we actually went worse. That's not what you want to do. But we're going to see now if we can at least, as ironically watching the Audi TT bounce up into the air. Very strange. But we're going to see anyway what we can do in this second race. Now I'm going to go across into the right side and almost hitting the guy there in the Ferrari. I had to back out a little bit and go to the side. I didn't want to hit him. We was okay, there was no penalties given, but that's completely destroyed my straight line speed. You can see there in the mirror, the Audi coming down my inside line. He's going to go for a move into this corner, and I think he's not going to be able to stop. He's going to go straight through us, and we're going to get the move done, and we're going to go up the inside of the Ferrari, and we're going to go behind the red Ferrari. So we're surrounded by Ferraris this race, not Audi TTs, even though there are a lot more Audi TTs in this one. Now, coming through these S's side by side will slow you down, and that's exactly what's happening there. And I think the Ferrari realised he's backed off a little bit just to give himself some more space. But that's going to give us a little bit more breathing room ourselves as we look to attack down the long straight, where at the end of the straight it's probably the best corner of the track and a very, very good opportunity to overtake. So coming down the hill now, in 8th place, we're not close enough for a manoeuvre, as you can see. But if we can get a decent enough exit, which we have done, look at the closure of that gap. I've brought that Ferrari in front so close compared to where he was, all from getting a good exit on that corner. Now, I've said it a couple of times in the first race, I'm going to say it again. Slipstream, very important. Through the S-bends, you've got to be careful. You don't want to get dirty air. You don't want to be getting muddled up in all that, and that will absolutely destroy your lap. So I'm going to take my time here. I'm not going to attack too much. I just want to sit roughly where I am. I am in the slipstream and I don't want to be losing that. And I'm going to try now and use that slipstream down the home straight to at least catch up through the first corners, where I know this McLaren is very, very strong. Now, it's a very strange setup, this track. As you come down past the home straight here, the very first corner is complete 90-degree left turn into a complete hairpin. Very strange setup, but very rewarding when you get it right. Now, the McLaren very strong for there, but so, as it seemed, was that Ferrari and the Audi, strangely enough. In the last race, the Audi didn't seem too good round there. But anyway, we're going to see now if we can catch up down this straight down the hill, using a bit of gravity to our advantage as well, like everybody else, but still, we're going to see if we can at least catch up and close that gap down on this second lap. Now this is a tricky corner because it's almost 2 corners in one. You need to be turning in and braking at the same time, which is very dangerous. As the Audi goes off, then he's going to come right back on the track, and we're going to get past him, and we're going to take 7th place and look ahead of us to that red Ferrari. 2-second penalty. I didn't see what happened there, so I'm not too sure. I'm assuming he collided with another car. 2 seconds seems a lot for going off track. Like myself there, again flirting with the lines. I'm going to assume though that 2-second penalty was for colliding with a car, and that's fine for us. That's absolutely fine for us. We're going to take that position as long as we can stay within range on the next lap. So that's absolutely fine. We're going to see what we can do anyway. We've got 2 laps to go. We don't want to do anything too stupid. As the Ferrari though completely outbrakes himself, so we're going to take the position now. We're not going to wait till the next part of the track, next lap should I say. We're going to take position there and then, and that's going to set us up and go into 6th place. Now ahead of us, as you can see, once again, the Audi TT. We know how good that Audi is on this track. We're going to see if we can at least chase this guy down, as he seems to be battling with the Subaru in 4th. I didn't expect to see a Subaru, I'll be honest with you. It's not the strongest car, I don't personally think anyway. But it's nice to see it. You don't see it all that often, I'll say that. Anyway, coming up to the home straight, and you can just see it completely, I messed that up. Absolutely shocking piece of driving from me there. And that's going to send me back down now from 6th to 8th. 2 positions lost straight away because I just completely forgot to turn. But not to worry, as you can see, 7th and 6th both have penalties, so I'm hoping to use that to my advantage, as we're now on the lap where that will be served. And already getting past Ferrari gets completely sideways in that corner, and we're going to see if we can chase down the Audi in front and make something happen there. As the 2 Audis are battling, that's going to slow them down, which is good for us. Now the Ferrari, as you can see on the radar, coming down the side, I didn't see him. I will admit, I did not see him whilst I was actually doing this race. I saw him on the radar then, but I didn't see him whilst doing this race. Luckily, he went through me, he ghosted. That could have been devastating. Now, the Audi just served his penalty, as you can see, and I made the decision to go around the Audi, even though they do ghost, because I assumed it wouldn't ghost long enough, and it looked like I made the right decision, because as I went past him, he did unghost, and that would have meant I would have collided with him, more than likely got a penalty, and ruined my race and his as well. So, through the tricky S-bends now, where the Audi does seem a lot better, but there's a bit of traffic ahead, so the Audis can't really use all that steering input and all the downforce and everything that makes that car so good on this track. Can't seem to use it all at the minute, so which is good for us. We don't want him to use all that, because that just means he'll probably end up walking away a little bit, and that's not what we want. So we're going to have to defend a little bit into this corner, I think, as the yellow Ferrari behind us doing a decent job, but not too good, and the Audi ahead of us, 2-second penalty again. I'm going to assume that was for colliding with a car. I didn't see it. Maybe we can look back at that and have a look what happened. I'm not sure. But the Audi ahead with a 2-second penalty that I'm going to try and take advantage of, as long as I can keep this Ferrari behind me from overtaking. And he seems to be very eager to do so. So I'm kind of semi-defending at the minute. I'm still trying to attack, but I have to just be wary about where that Ferrari is. And he does seem to have dropped off a little bit there now, which is giving me a bit more breathing room. I don't want to mess this corner up again, as we already did in the last lap. And it looks like we're going to do a decent job here. We're going to get a really good run down on this Audi. And the Audi, the 2-second penalty, now jumping up to 5th. But we're going to see if we can at least take that position with the Audi in front, as he doesn't have a penalty. Now we're going to outbrake ourselves a little bit here. We're just going to just about keep it on the track. And the 2 Audis, look at 4-second penalty for the Audi. I felt sorry for him. That was a bit harsh. In my opinion, that was a harsh penalty. I felt sorry for him on the last lap as well. On the last lap. Not what you want. But, you know, we're going to take advantage of it, because we're going to have to. We're going to take that position now. I'm going to see ourselves going up into 5th on the last lap. Now, the position we're currently sat in, we're just over a second behind the guy in 4th. Are we going to be able to make that time up on this lap? I don't think so. Maybe not through these S-bends. The McLaren, as good as the McLaren is, I don't think is the best through these S-bends. Now, the Ferrari behind us is about a second behind us. So is he going to be able to chase that down? I don't think so. I think we're going to be okay. We're probably going to end up finishing in this position unless something happens ahead of us. If something happens ahead of us, we might be able to get an even better finish. So let's just see. We're not going to give up. We're going to still be driving here. We're going to still be challenging as much as we can, trying to pull that time down. As you can see, it's come down a little bit. It was 1.5 seconds, now 1.3. So we have gained a little bit through that sector, but I don't think it's going to be enough. But you can see the gap between 5th and 6th now, myself and the Fry, that's now gone up to 1.1 seconds. So I'm doing something right. I'm pulling away. But it also seems that the 4 cars ahead of us are doing the exact same thing. And they're also just holding me off there. I can't catch them, and I'm not going to be able to do that now as we're coming round down the hill onto the last bend of the track. And unless something happens here, we're going to be settling for a 5th. But you know what? I am absolutely made up with that. Absolutely made up. We started in 10th. We're finishing in 5th. The first race we started in 3rd and finished in 5th, so that wasn't good. This race, starting in 10th, finishing in 5th, much better race. And do you know what? I very much enjoyed this race. This car, please give it a go. Let me know what you think. Tell me if you think it's as good as the TTs. As you can see there on the results, it seems to be a very popular car. I think I'm going to give it a go myself, actually, in the TT, just to see how good that car really is. But anyway, there we go. That's daily race B at Maggiore. 2 races, finishing in the same position for both, but the second race much better, going up 5 positions. So thank you very much for joining us this week for the daily races. We hope to see you again next time, and from all of us here at GT Sports Mate, thank you and goodbye.